I used to be someone's everything. His name was Andrew, and for nearly a decade, he built a life around me. From the outside, we had the perfect marriage: vacations, laughter over wine, soft glances across crowded rooms. But for 5 years, I carried a secret that slowly poisoned everything we had. I cheated. Not just once, not in a moment of weakness, but again and again, until it became a shadow that followed me everywhere I went. At first, it was one night, blurred by wine and loneliness while Andrew was away on a business trip. I cried the next day, swore it would never happen again. But it did. And after a while, I stopped crying. I told myself it didn't matter, that as long as I came home to Andrew, as long as he was happy, then no one had to know. The truth is, I loved Andrew. I still do, in some way that haunts me. But I also loved the way it felt when someone new looked at me like I was special. Andrew was always working, traveling, chasing the next promotion. I felt invisible. Instead of telling him how I felt, I found attention elsewhere. At work, online, in quiet hotel rooms with men who didn't know anything about me except my smile. I told myself it didn't define me, that my marriage was still real. I convinced myself that I could live in both worlds and keep my husband and my secrets apart. I was wrong. Everything came crashing down one quiet Thursday afternoon. I walked into the house to find Andrew sitting at the kitchen table, his laptop open, and a stack of papers in front of him. His face was pale, expression unreadable. "I went through your old phone," he said, not even looking up. "You must have forgotten to delete the backup from the cloud." My heart dropped. In an instant, I knew. All of it, every message, every hotel reservation, every late-night text was there in black and white. I couldn't speak, I couldn't even move. "I didn't want to believe it," he said, flipping through the stack. "So I kept reading. 5 years, Emma." He finally looked at me, and I wish he hadn't. The disappointment in his eyes was worse than anger. "You didn't just make a mistake, you built a second life." I... "Andrew, I'm sorry," I whispered, stepping forward. My voice cracked, my legs trembling, but he lifted a hand to stop me. "Don't," he said. "I don't need your apology. I needed you then, 5 years ago. Not now." He stood up slowly, like even being in the same room with me was unbearable. "You say you love me, but love doesn't lie every day for 5 years. Love doesn't make someone feel like a fool without even realizing it." Then quietly, almost like it hurt him to say it, he added, "I don't even know who you are." He didn't yell. He didn't throw things. He didn't beg me to explain. He just walked out the door. And with him, everything good in my life vanished. I thought maybe we'd talk later. Maybe he'd need closure. Maybe he'd miss me enough to want answers. He didn't. The days dragged by, silent and cold. I moved out of the house and into my sister's spare room, where the walls closed in a little more each night. I kept waiting for him to call, to scream, to cry, anything. But Andrew didn't do any of that. He simply erased me from his life. No texts, no emails, no late-night calls. He blocked me on everything, unfriended me, even left the group chats we shared with friends. The divorce papers came 2 months later, tucked into a plain envelope. No letter, no note, just his signature at the bottom and a space for mine. I thought the worst part would be the loneliness, but it wasn't. It was the realization that I didn't matter to him anymore, that he had moved on so effortlessly, like I never existed. Mutual friends stopped inviting me to dinners and parties because Andrew might be there. It was like I had died, and no one had the heart to tell me. I spent hours scrolling through old photos of us, trying to remember what we had before I ruined it. I replayed memories in my head like a movie I couldn't turn off. The way he used to kiss my forehead when I was sad, how he always held my hand in crowded places, the way his eyes lit up when I laughed. I destroyed all of that. And for what? Fleeting moments of validation from people who didn't even know my middle name. Months passed. I thought I was getting better until I saw him again. It was in the produce aisle of a grocery store on a Saturday morning. He was standing there, holding a basket, talking to a woman I'd never seen before. She was laughing, really laughing, like he had just said something funny. He looked relaxed, like someone who'd dropped the weight of 1,000 lies and finally learned how to breathe again. I froze. My heart raced. For a second, I thought maybe he'd see me and feel something, anger, sadness, anything. But he didn't. His eyes passed over me like I was just another stranger shopping for fruit. He didn't flinch, he didn't blink, he didn't care. That night, I cried harder than I had the day he left, because that moment in the